We're back.
Whoa.
Testing 1, 2. Testing 1, 2. Good looking out, midget. Appreciate it.
I don't see it on there, but okay. This is going to be new. Can't find it.
Man, last time it popped right up
It
for
did,
us.
man, and I don't see it right now. I don't see it popping up. It was. Oh, it is. It's on live. Look.
Huh. Oh, there we go. Perfect. All right, we're back. Again.
Sweet. Here we go. All right. We're still working through some of these kinks and stuff like that, and I don't know what you guys actually got from it. What I was rambling about summer here. And so Chris is kind of keeping up on this. I can actually see a couple things as in terms of what I'm speaking on. So
let's go ahead and
strictly on camera too.
Yeah, only 2. So I mean, I could switch around, but I'll lose the feed. So
Okay.
let's just let's go ahead and get back into. We're going to talk about summer
Yes.
approaching us, and you were talking about pickleball and
Yes.
cornhole, and I just want you guys to know that the expressions Marcus does is strictly on Marcus because brother Chris is not playing pickleball, cornhole.
Okay, so Brother Marcus is still trying to be an athlete on every level that I possibly can be still. Matter of fact, now I can actually take my glasses off because I'm not having this particular light or that light shining in my face. With that being said, I passed by today, and we're going to talk about the subject of what's happening today for summer, because we are here in summer. We're literally a week off from June starting, right?
Yeah.
And matter of fact, I want to give a shout out to a lot of people out there that have May birthdays. My son's birthday was in May. Little G's birthday's in May. Yeah, there's so many people I know that have birthdays in May, so I want to.
Brother Todd just had a birthday.
Brother Todd had a birthday in
My
May.
sister just had a birthday.
You know, Kathy had a birthday in May? Oh, sweet. Happy birthday to everybody out there. And to the criminal element out there, happy birthday to them. They know who they are.
I'm like, hold on.
The criminal element. Don't you remember that thing?
I was
That
like-
was from
The opinions by Marcus does not reflect
Ricky.
them.
It was from La Bamba, bro. Remember from La Bamba, right?
yeah,
So
the
I always
criminal
like saying
element.
that stuff. But with that being said, it's great to go live, and we're talking about summer. And we're going to jump into a couple of things that happen during summer that it seems to happen all the time. And there'll be some things that we were talking about that is going to be the violence of summer, because cops are actually getting ready for summer. Kids are out doing more stuff. They stay out later because of the temperature and stuff. And there's many things that they can get into that are non-violent, but somehow, some way, we're seeing a lot of violence in our country right now, and a lot of people in a lot of places. And I will always tie that back out to spiritual things that are happening. For some reason, during the summer, people like to drink more, stay out more, do a lot more different things that just seems that they need the drama and everything else going. That's spiritual. I'd like to see people focus in on the good things this summer, especially here in Colorado. Like, we got the high country where you can go up there and fish, picnics, hikes, get out and look at Aspen. It's beautiful during the summer.
I totally heard that part wrong.
Oh, really?
No. Hey, did you ever see that bakery that's like, how's your Aspen?
Oh, no, I did not. Really?
Yeah, it's on the back of their thing, but they're talking about Aspen.
Oh, no.
but
Brother Chris, you see where he's at all the time. So when we're here in our studio all the time, most of the time you guys hear us, and that's because we're going on to what we're producing in our podcast. But this is the fun part of it that we like to start to come back into, and you get to see a different side of us with that. I've been noticing pickleball out there. I don't know how many people play pickleball. Get in your comments and tell me what y'all think about that new one. I actually liked the cornhole sport now. And I didn't realize, like, this beanbag toss is really bigger than what I thought it was,
yeah,
man.
there's some dudes with some skills,
These
man.
dudes is going out there getting sponsorship. You know, they're making money. They got all these crazy tournaments going on. And I was like, that's just plain out beanbag throw when I was a kid. I mean, like, I remember growing up for field day, and I was telling Brother Chris about this earlier if you caught the rest of the podcast. I passed by a school today, and they're out there having field day. So my question is right now, are they still giving out the ribbons? The blue, the red,
I think
the yellow, the green.
I think everybody gets a ribbon.
Oh, yeah. The participation trophy stuff. We got to still keep building confidence. Guess what? Sometimes some disappointment and stuff helps make you better.
Well, I mean, I remember there was a couple field days, and I wasn't blessed long enough to go to a school to have multiple field days, year after year. But the years that I did, man, I was competitive. Even though I was a little fat kid, I still would try to get out there and make my mark and try to beat the next record. But I think that passion's gone now.
Really?
I don't see it. Like I said, you watch the kids and they're kind of it's just going through the motions. But I think a lot of it is because the parents ain't backing it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. We live in a society now where both parents have to work 2 jobs. The kids are being taken care of by the older sibling or the older family relatives. I don't think a lot of like before, and then then you see the kids out there with their parents and they're fighting each other because they're too competitive. But
Fact.
I mean, the main thing I wanted to touch on when you're talking about the summer here is I know they're gearing up for the 100 deadly days of summer, and they say at the beginning
Deadly
of summer
days.
a lot of DUIs, a lot of senseless. I don't know how to say this correctly, so we won't get banned. But a lot of street action, and a lot of emotional decisions made in a time of heat and passion. And I mainly wanted to touch on that. Guys, understand that everything you do has a consequence for multiple years attached to it. The party where someone stepped on your shoe. It's not like Beat Street where all of a sudden the
Let's
music
do some
turns on.
breakdancing in Ozone and Turbo.
You know what, man? You guys got to start to realize that there's some emotionally unstable kids out here carrying weapons that the Army probably don't want to come in contact with. And so if they cut you off, man, sometimes, like what Pastor D said all the time, sometimes you just got to smile and let them pass because these next 100 days is going to be, either heartbreaking, devastating, or no mercy with them.
Listen, and I think what people don't realize that one bad mistake doesn't just affect you, it affects many families.
Yeah.
And so I can get into this because I talk to these guys, and there's a lot of gentlemen that are probably tuning in right now.
Hey, you know what? Before you go any further, though, shoot some shout-outs to, I know you said you got a roster, so, like the ones that that have logged in and gave you some feedback, man, give them a shout-out.
Oh, man. Well, that'll take me off of what I'm going on. But there's a gentleman I met the other day. Let me see if I can bring it up. But it was cool because I was having breakfast and I sat down at a community table. And it was amazing that just having these conversations, how they start out, how we start talking to one another. And his name is Nicholas Baker. And he's out of Utah. And what he does is he's an artist. And so I told him I'd give him a shout out. You can find him right now on Instagram. Like I said, Nicholas Baker. And it's great because some of the illustrations he does, a lot of the freehand he does is great. He's really good if you look at some of his artwork and stuff. But we got to shooting the conversation about Utah because he's from Utah and he was here in Denver doing a thing at the art festival. And we just started talking, and it was amazing to us how we started just to intertwine and talk with one another about how we see eye to eye on a lot of things. And it wasn't just political, it's just seeing how men in general are moving and how things in the world is moving, how the short attention span has happened because we get so much dopamine when we're online, and if we don't like something, it's 2 seconds, boom, it's gone. 2 seconds, it's gone. We're not really educating ourselves. And I said it before, social media can have its greatness behind it, but then there's also the downfall behind it.
It's all interpretation.
Correct.
Because like you can read a 20-second clip as like if you watched a whole documentary on it, and your emotions take over on that. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, and you're right. So we started getting into that, and I started talking about the emotional side. So I addressed my team the other day, and a lot of my team actually watched this.
Shout out to the
I
team.
deal with. I actually coach a team called the Colorado Rockets.
Amen.
Okay, so we don't just do 11 on 11. We actually play, and we set our guys up for arena too. Some of the guys that we have on our team move forward into arena, and they actually get jobs and get paid to do an arena. And then some of us move on to different areas on 11 on 11. We also have a young youth program that we have. So some of the players from our team actually get the other side of learning how to coach to the younger generation. So when they come to see us and we're actually coaching them with our team and stuff, they're actually getting hands-on basis of being a coach, but at the same time they're a player that's playing on my roster. So the respect level comes in a whole different way. So shout out to them. When I was talking to them the other day, I was like, 90% of the dudes in jail, or even 75% of the guys in jail, made a mistake based on their emotions. And a lot of us make mistakes based on our emotions and our feelings when we can stop to sit back and think about that. So I'm going to wheel this back into what we're talking about summer. Gentlemen out there, pay real close attention to your mistakes of what you've done in the past and ask yourself, was my emotions leading me that I made those mistakes with? Oh, I liked that car, but you bought it, you couldn't really afford it, but your emotions kept pushing you to go get it. The same thing happens in violence. This dude disrespected me. Is that an emotion? Is that an emotion?
You know, in my 20s, that carried a whole different meaning. In my 50s now, I don't know if I would still act the same way, but I get it, and I get the younger generation because they're being fed propaganda that you got to make your name, you got to be this, you got to do this, you got to live up to this. Guys, don't get me wrong. There are some youngsters that live to that, but a majority of us that did that right in the 90s, and there was consequences to cool decisions that didn't equal out, because a lot of us, and I can't really, like, again, I'm only speaking for myself. There was a lot of people I know that did time that a lot of other people didn't follow through with what they were saying. But the main thing of what I'm hearing, what you're saying right now, is guys, don't make a decision this summer that's going to cost you multiple summers to come.
Fact.
Because what's happening now is no different than what happened the last couple summers. Like, you know, like if you go home and go to sleep on it and it still knocks on your door, then maybe you need to deal with it. But anything that happens after a 10 o'clock time at night, if you can't walk away from it, it just, to me, it's not worth your time.
It's probably going to lead bad. And so just be aware of that. Check your emotions on everything that you're going through and what's happening at the point of time. Most of the emotions actually get heightened based on the drugs and the alcohol that you're taking in. Mm-hmm. That will cloud your judgment. And I want you to think real close about what I'm about ready to say to you. The mistake that you make out there, whether it's causing harm to somebody else or you getting harmed, it affects everybody around you, your family. So the person that causes harm on somebody and they end up getting an assault case, their mom, dad have to deal with that, helping them with that. What if you leave a kid behind that needed your support? Now this kid's growing up without you. But it's affecting everybody based on your decision that you choose to do or what you choose not to do. It's affecting, and everybody thinks that you're out there, you can do everything solo by yourself. Yes, you can. Just because you do it solo by yourself does not mean that the consequences of your action only affects you.
And so you got to remember that our existence is tied to so many other people's blessings. Mm-hmm. And that when you take your existence out of that equation, there's going to be some people that fall through the cracks that you were supposed to be available to bless, and that you're supposed to be there to guide. And you know, I'm not trying to preach to you guys. I'm just speaking from experience and seeing it firsthand. But you know, we got to really have these conversations, because you know, we have some younger generation that's not hearing this, and then next thing you know, we're writing them letters, but those letters don't have impact as much as they do as right now in person, and answering questions when people are confused, or you know, at least guiding them when they're making the decisions and not judging them, but trying to help them.
Correct. And so if we can help you just kind of just sit back, relax, and take a breather and think before you react. That's all I'm asking for. No matter what you're doing and what's going on, if this dude comes and spits down almost on you, hits your shoe, take a deep breath, think about before you react. Just those 2-3 seconds can help stop a lot of things.
And not to like take the tone away from this, but when I was a kid, someone did that, man. That was on, right? But you know what? Now when someone does that, you know what I picture? I picture a llama spitting.
Oh, okay.
With the long neck, you know what I mean? And it's not as like personal anymore, because like llamas just spit, you know what I mean? And
there you go.
But you got your perspective and the way you interpret things. You got to change that. because like you can't keep holding on to the chains that are holding you down and claim they can't break if you continue to reinforce them.
Fact, come out of your comfort zone. And some of those things, that's what the enemy would love for you guys to actually do, fall through your emotions and follow through and have something really go bad and ugly there. And before you know it, I just want to ask you guys this simple question. Can you live in your bathroom right now for the next 20 years? Because that's what it will be like. You will be living in a bathroom. That's the size, wherever your salad is going to be the size of a bathroom. Number two, can you really think about I want people to put money on my books all the time. I want somebody to put money on my books.
And here's the thing, guys. If anyone out there that's, this is your reality or that you've been through this, tap in. Because,
yeah, man. Come on, brother. Speak up.
I could thank God for that door being closed for me because, he kept me away from some doors that I was determined to kick in.
Listen, man, my cousin Bullet has been through it. And when he sat back and he really put those same words to me and said, this is what the reality is behind it. You don't want none of this and stuff, and I have to praise God that I was good enough to hear from it. Don't say that I didn't go do some of that stuff that I just didn't get, how can I say, caught up in it so well. That didn't happen. But the reality is, I believe there's a lot of gentlemen out there that have been through that. And man, please chime in, fellas, because there's a lot of people that listen to this and they could just read it in the comments.
Yeah. And I'm not saying, chime in and give up some goods that you're not supposed to give up. But, this is where the community, right? It takes a village to raise a nation. Mm-hmm. And we got to start being the village because we're complaining a lot about what the government's not doing for us. But the vatos in the neighborhood ain't doing it either. And some are now. Let me take that back. There's a handful of guys that that I know that's online that's spitting a positive word now, and that's what it's really all about. It doesn't matter where we're from or what we did or what we claimed or what we represent, but what it is about being a whole. You know what I mean? We can't all be in one accord if we don't want to drive the Honda.
We're not all focused on the kingdom. Whatever kingdom that might be for y'all and stuff. I do understand dudes are like, we protect our hood. But are you really protecting the hood by allowing a lot of the same ugly, nasty things to continually happen to the next generation?
We gotta start
being accountable to
we gotta start being our brother's keeper.
That's right.
And not just when they get in trouble and not just when it's good and comfortable, but having these conversations and helping somebody process it, and maybe being the bad guy and keeping the boundaries set, but mainly you gotta okay, so where have you been let down in life? How can you not let someone else down? And that's been a hard one for me because I've had some strongholds that let me down, and I kept that close to me, and I built a wall, right? So those can't never happen again. But I've also learned that those don't have power on me. You know what I mean? And through the word and through some of these men's groups and stuff, being able to sit down and realize that, that the stuff that I was holding so close as trauma to me ain't even as bad as my brother from a house that came from a good neighborhood, and that, you know what I mean? So we survived the 90s, but we don't have to bring that into 2026.
We really don't. And so fellas, if you see yourself going to the same thing that that something went down bad last week there, you might want to just find a way to get away from that particular area again, find different things to do. Like I said, there's a lot of enjoyable things that could happen here. Right. There's a lot of things that you can do out there that don't require even money. That don't even require money.
I'm just letting you guys know that, everyone's like, well, if I was in wherever Cali, I could go to SeaWorld. No, you don't want to go to SeaWorld. What the sticker price I got charged at the door to go look at some fish, I could go to the aquarium and eat one of them.
Have them flaming that thing for you. So,
Jacob, if you're watching, I took your grandma. I'm not happy, but I took your grandma.
Yeah.
And if you're watching, bitch,
some fish jumping and stuff. But anyway, with that, but you did go see the San Diego Zoo.
No.
No, you didn't go there?
Nope.
Wow.
No. Wow. You know what? To be honest with you, as a kid, I never seen it. And it wasn't even a thought process of,
wow.
Bro, I think I've been to the zoo here a handful of times, and I don't like seeing fans.
I'm not with it because I just think everybody in the zoo's prisoners. That's not where they really want to be.
Well, I mean, I like it, but then I started thinking, I don't want to go see no family, but that's just a joke.
Got it. So anyway, we're trying to stay here, and the good thing behind it, like I said, is there's a lot that's happening in Colorado. On the lighter side, like I said, we're giving shouts out and stuff. I know that we have a game on the for the Rockets. We have a game off 136 and I-25. I think it's 5-star 2. That starts at 9 o'clock in the morning on Saturday. And I can tell you right now, that particular game is going to be a hard-hitting game.
Right.
I take nothing away from guys that play at this level, for the simple fact is, no matter when you strap on the helmet, I don't care what kid you are risking a lot. Whether it's a risk that you are blowing an ACL out, or you're tearing a rotator cuff, spinal injuries, paralyzation, concussions. Those things happen every time a gentleman puts on that helmet. So I don't care who you are, where you're at, whether it's arena, no matter where you're playing, I got to give you your props for doing that. There's a passion and a love for the game that these gentlemen still go out there and do it. They just didn't get enough of it out of their systems. Some of them are moving up to the next round and moving up to, whether they're moving up into an arena or they're moving away to try to get into the pros and scrimmages and stuff. This gets to popping hard and stuff. So if you got time, try to swing on by. Like I said, I know it's an early game at 9 o'clock. I like it. The reason why I want 9 o'clock in the morning is because I don't want to be up on that turf and that heat is 90 degrees, because that's an extra 10 degrees on that field.
Yeah.
And it gets to being hot. So it's either night games or early games that I like. And
Another thing I wanted to touch on as we're going forward is we've been seeing a lot of activities that's making people crash out. If that's a good thing. We just had a car sitting on top of the median on Pecos on the roundabout.
Really?
Just like some Grand Theft Auto stuff. You know what I mean? Like I didn't
play enough of it. They're making it live.
But what I'm saying is that we're making decisions that are costing major time, and right now time's not very, like, we don't have it like our older generation had it. You see people hitting 106, and now like you see someone pass 90. That's the new 106. So that's 10 years off the top right there. And guys, we can't keep flipping cars over medians on temporary gains. You know what I mean? Like if we're doing the criminal element, and again, I'm not down talking nobody, but what I'm trying to do is bring some light to it, that we're making decisions that are costing generational loss. You know what I mean? And the idea that we have behind this is someone's got to be the big homie out there to somebody. I can't do it because I don't know all of them. The ones that I do know, I'm trying to make this impact on. But we got to really start dialing this in. And, on the podcast, we speak a lot about the scriptures, but the scriptures say that, you gotta, there's a lot that we don't do nowadays that we're supposed to. And ain't nothing changed from the Bible days to now. Only thing that's different is technology. We're not on horses no more. We're in cars. We dealt with the same thing, infidelity. We dealt with theft. We dealt with disrespect. We dealt with government.
Correct.
We dealt with loss, death, all that stuff, right? And I'm not trying to get into the sad part of this conversation, but ain't nothing changed. Only thing that changed is the date on the calendar and the cost that we're paying to live here to do it. They used to pay in pesos and in wooden nickels, and now we're paying in thousands and thousands. And some of these places are the same houses we grew up in. Ain't nothing different but the paint and maybe the grass. But what my point is like, guys, we can't keep looking for outlets to blame. We got to start looking at us.
It's accountability.
And the distractions.
Correct.
Guys, like, seriously, this summer, man, we have an opportunity to come out and start unity. And I know that's not talked a lot, and I'm not talking about we need to go march, but we got to start, like, looking in our backyard and finding out who we could communicate with, what grudges we could let go of, what opportunities do we have to mend something. And I'm not saying the toxic, the abusive, or the parental that, no. But I'm talking the friends that you haven't spoke to in a while, the mental check-ins, the brother check-ins, like guys, my brother Joe is the only one that, and Marcus are the only ones that, hey, I'm praying for you, I'm checking on you, like a lot of my inner circle don't do that no more, and that's concerning.
I think that what happened in this world right now is exactly what the enemy has actually wanted for a very, very long time. So when people talk about the end times, the Bible is clear about that in Timothy about how men will be lovers of themselves, selfish, self-centered, egotistic, more love of material things than lovers of God. And we're starting to see that, and we're seeing it over and over. And there's a lot of people that are concerned with it because they're like, what's the next generation going to be like? Well, let's take a look at the next generation. Parents, why don't you ask the teachers what they think about the kids nowadays? And they'll tell you exactly, because we got teachers that are actually quitting in drones, quitting saying, I can't deal with these kids. They don't listen. They're not respectful. But there's also those other kids that do. There's all those kids that actually do listen and want to do better and stuff. Now, here's the thing that I will say. Social media tries to blow it up and make it seem like everybody that bad. Like 1%. The other 97% are doing great. They're right on board. 1%, 2%, 3% make it seem like it's so bad and disastrous and stuff. But the next time, just pull your kid aside and ask him, like, what's going on with you? And I'll be honest with you, this is where I heard from a lot of parents, and I had a stepdad and a stepmom, and I shout out to them all the time. Birds of a feather flock together. They always used to say, show me your friends and I'll tell you who you are. And that's real. That is real fact.
It is.
So if you really think just because Jimmy grew up with Tony and Tyrone down the block and Jimmy ain't like Tony and Tyrone got in trouble. Tyrone went to jail. Jimmy did this. And now all of a sudden you're like, no, my kid, that ain't my kid. You might want to think twice.
Because, Jimmy cracked corn and nobody cared. You know what I mean? And that's the reality of it is somebody else's weight and the weapon that's formed against them can't prosper on you unless you grab a hold of it. They always say grab the bull by the horns. Obviously, they ain't never grabbed a bull by the horns because that does not make no sense to me.
No sense at all.
I mean, if it's motivational, that's cool. Mm-hmm. But yeah, man. So like we got to really start stepping up, and we got young men around us, and we got older men around us that just need that positive reinforcement and that and the guidance that's needed. And we just got to really start looking in the mirror and really like digging deep into that decision about, hey, what can I do to help guide this guy? Mm-hmm. What kind of light am I shining? Is my curtains down while my light's shining? And that's major because, these groups that nobody's going to, these services that no one's getting into, you guys got to be more than just a holiday believer. Okay, cool, Christmas is cool to go and Easter's cool to go, but every other Wednesday is good to go. Every Sunday is good to go. Changing up and finding somewhere that you fit in, because just because you can kickstart a Honda doesn't mean that you're getting the fire.
Start a Honda.
Get bit by a mosquito. But, and that's what this is leading into. And Missy's telling me I'm slouching, sit up, but I'm not. It's
probably telling me the same thing. Hey, straighten up and stuff.
I got to be close to the mic, so you got to. But with all that saying is that there's an event coming up that we're tied into called the No Man Left Behind Father's Day Breakfast, the citywide men's breakfast, popping off on 20 of 2026 at 8:30 a.m. at Newlands. Is it Newlands? Nolan's? Noonans, 13521 East Iliff Avenue in Aurora. Pastor Greg is his ministry is behind this, and we're basically we're just part of a group that he does, but. You could buy a ticket, come down, eat some breakfast with your son, your nephews, a couple other men, some guys from work.
Come fellowship.
Come fellowship, get some word. They're going to have some speakers. I know in the next few weeks he's going to release who's coming. But us as a podcast are going to be there as facilitating the conversations. So CWTM podcast will be in the building doing some interviewing. And for me, that's pretty major because that's again talking about doors in this last episode, talking about doors closed and thanking God. We had a lot of things that we thought we were going to get into that we never did, but now we are. You know what I mean? And these doors are starting to open. So, it's about unity again, right? And how do you get to know people unless you go out and speak to them?
Listen, the doors that we would have fumbled the assignment if we tried to jump into that anytime earlier and stuff. And I'm looking forward to actually being part of this. Like, I really am. I don't feel that I'm unqualified now before I did. And I'm looking forward to all the networking and everything else that happens to it. But most enjoyable part I'm looking for is the word and looking for the unity and brotherhood. There used to be a strong movement at one time that made a big impact across this whole country. And there was one man that led it. And I'm not saying I'm that man or anything, but his name was Bill McCartney. And it was a thing called Promise Keepers. And men
yeah.
from different journeys and different churches and different ministries and different places seemed to join forces and was like, look, we can turn everything around as long as we're unified. The same thing goes with anybody that's in the military. As long as all the military is joined in one unified effort to go ahead and do whatever they're doing, they can conquer different places and stuff. And that same type of mentality is what we need to look forward to us with us men. The sooner better and closer that we get together and unify in one direction, going one way, saying we will not tolerate this anymore, we will not tolerate that anymore, but put our foot in the sand and work together as one complete union and unit to the kingdom.
One
not
accord.
a denomination, for the kingdom, and just for men in general. Things will change.
Imagine like if we got a group together, right? That's from 4 different backgrounds, 4 different churches, whatever. Like, let's just throw it out there. A couple different religions, a couple different churches, a couple different backgrounds. But we went out and served the community. And we picked a church to go as they did something. So like if someone's barbecuing or feeding the homeless, we all went in and
Everybody
served.
go at that one church.
And it's not because we're trying to get credit. Because I think I said on Sunday, what could God do in a church that didn't need credit for it? Like we could do this podcast and I don't care if no one knows me, but as long as this word gets out, and matter of fact, you could copy this word and say it somewhere
say
else.
The same thing and make it your own. I'm cool with that.
Right.
Get
Raphael, welcome in. I just seen you pop in. If you're still there, welcome. Appreciate you joining in. We're just discussing, we talked about summer days. We're in a conversation now about the No Man Left Behind citywide men's breakfast. Again, that's going to go down June 20th, 2026 at Newlands at 13521 East Iliff in Aurora. Pastor McDonald, and I'll make sure to tag him in this live, but he's the one heading it. We're just kind of helping out, and we're part of a group that he sits in. But that doesn't mean that just because he's heading it that other people can't be involved in it.
Yes, man, that's what I like about it. So, again, we got churches in there, and I said it last week or so that we got 5-6 churches within a 10-block radius, right? And each one of them are trying to reach that same community and do it their own way, because there's a lot of things that involved, whether it's politics or title, pride, and ego. But if all those churches, the 5-6 churches, had actually come together on one day, they would be able to impact so many more,
Right.
and so much in a different way. I mean, the saddest thing like this, like, what do you really think you're going to get out of it by not unifying with your brothers that believe in the same purpose in the same way,
Yep.
other than more division because you're not unifying? But if you did unify, there's a lot of things that can be taken over. I see that, and I seen that growing up. I seen different gangs join with each other and said, like, forget that. We're not even going to fly under different names now. We're just going to fly under this one name, and they took over a whole neighborhood. But yet we have churches that have issues with that. Make it make sense to me.
Yeah, I can't.
Make it make sense, and I'm not saying that every church, every men's group, every person needs to do that thing. I'm just trying to put the question and start the conversation. Have that conversation with your gentlemen in your church right now. Because I can tell you right now, when I went to Promise Keepers, I seen different people from different backgrounds, every race, every color, every tongue, different religions, all trying to come and unify with one another. And I really haven't seen that happen since. So I'm hoping that these doors blow off. I hope there's a line around the block like, sorry, there's just not enough room. I hope every table and everything is done, and that we just start to see to come unified with one another instead of looking at our brother's faults and saying, like, well, he's here.
Yeah, and another thing is that everybody wants revival, but no one wants to the snowball effect to start going. Like we can't have a revival if we have no unity.
And there's no fire.
Yeah, if you just don't got it in you, I mean, like we can't keep waiting for someone else to set it off. God's waiting for us.
God is waiting for us.
And so with this part of the podcast, this is where we get a kind of like gave some shout outs. You gave a shout out to the team. I know I got two people that and I always talk about them until someone else gives me a reason to speak. But Hightail Pet Saloon, I got a chance to interview Liz on Beyond the Struggle podcast and share a very inspirational story about her life.
Her testimony was awesome.
And
everybody's still asking about the dog.
hey, and you know what? Here's the kicker. You could go see the dog
Yeah, you
at
can
her
go
new
see her
pet her Hightail Pet Salon. They just opened. May 1st was their grand opening.
Mm-hmm.
They have full service pet salon, family owned and ran, at 3814 East 120th Avenue in Thornton, Colorado. I don't know the hours. I should have been a little more prepared, but I didn't plan to do this. But I know they're also hiring groomers. But if you're looking for somewhere new to take your dog and to take it to somewhere where pets just ain't a pet, because you don't take your kids to just some random daycare. You always take them to somewhere that you can trust. And I can tell you that the love for animals through Liz is beyond my comprehension. But if you're lucky and you get to see Bo there, ask her to have Bo sing you a song. It's well worth the travel there to see him sing. But she's doing major things, and this is why I wanted to really. And it's not about her being on the podcast and me interviewing her, but someone that stepped out of their comfort zone, made a plan, executed it, and opened doors for it during a time that's very iffy if you should do it or not. And she made a post that it's kind of scary watching your dream come to reality, but waiting for someone else to see it. And I told her if anyone could do it, you can. And she says, I have faith. And that's what made me bring this up today. Because if she has faith and we all have faith, there's no reason why we can't support someone.
We're going to shout out and support her, to let the community come together with her. Remember, it's not just Liz that's doing that. She's actually trying to hire some more groomers and stuff. So at that point in time, she's trying to be a blessing and a help out to other people. Guess what, guys? Shout out to us. We have no problem shouting out your business and trying to get you up and going also and stuff. Because the simple fact is that we are better together than separated with one another.
Right. And I watched a thing from a guy on TikTok that says we're so quick to go get the new Jordans and we're so quick to go get the brand name this and that, but we're always trying to nitpick on our friends that are doing something. So, guys, if you're part of the podcast community and you tap in with us and you got somebody in your family that's doing something, you got you got something going on, we got no problem giving you a shout out, and we can support you guys just as much as you're supporting us.
Yeah, I'm down for the small business people that are out there making things work.
Yeah,
because it's a dream that you guys are trying to accomplish, which means that if you do accomplish and we support you with it, the next generation can have a dream of doing the same thing themselves.
Yeah.
And with that, I will talk about the mom and pop stores that I grew up with around the way. When I grew up, there was mom and pop stores. There wasn't these big chains of Walmart and Safeway and King Soopers and stuff. It was the mom and pop stores. But I also remember taking a note when your mom and dad didn't have enough money, or and you took that note, and that gentleman would turn around and put groceries together to send you home, and he knew he was going to get money on the first or the second or whatever. You got to know the people that ran those stores. So guess what ended up happening? You didn't go steal from those stores.
Right.
You didn't cause any vandalism to those stores. You knew the people personally and stuff. And that's the thing where I feel unity and communication and relationships actually bonify and tighten everything in a community. Right. They tighten the community. We have lost that. And it starts with you trying to be that person. It starts with you trying to support that business. It starts with you saying, I'm no longer going to turn around and take this thing to a high corporate chain thing. I'm going to do this and support the small businesses and stuff. And I promise you, if we lost every small business, then you won't feel that relationship.
Right.
You won't have that when you walk into these major stores or anything. You're just a product. You're just somebody that's bringing in money that can care less about it. Yeah, it may cost a little bit more, but I'd rather pay that to my friend that has a business than try to ask for a hookup. Because the truth of the fact is if my friend has a business, I'm not asking for a free hookup. Like, oh, he has a restaurant. I want free food. No. If anything, I'm going to shout out his business all the time. I'm going to pay more and even tip more because I want him successful. I want him successful.
So my next one, as we're getting up there in time, but I just want to throw one more shout out to Mark with Beyond the Struggle podcast, and like I said, I got a chance to join his team. I know he said he's got a team, but I still consider me part of that team. But we both are doing big things right now, and Beyond the Struggle, they got the summer of new beginnings, and it kind of fits right in with what we're talking about for the summer. But what's cool about it is our August 22nd at Argo Park, right there at 4700 Logan Street in Denver, right there in Louisville. They're having an event there. They're accepting vendor applications still. I'm not sure if they're 100% there, but tap in with Mark at Beyond the Struggle podcast. I know they're going to be doing some faith recovery, growth, and community, and I know he's going to be big on trying to get some testimonies to where people could come up and share their testimonies, share their recovery stories, and not only just that, but it's major to have that under your belt as far as being able to share that with people who don't know. You know what I mean? That's just started going. I know they're going to have guest speakers and, like I said, testimonies going on. Food trucks are going to be available there for to buy food from, and it looks like a small portion of their proceeds are going to go to feeding our homeless neighbors in the area. Vendors, local business, and recovery communities are going to be there. So that's going to be from 10 to 4, August 22nd at Argo Park, 4700 Logan Street in Denver. Beyond the Struggles event, Summer of New Beginnings.
Yeah, fact, check that out. It's in August. Number one, get at Mark, get at him as soon as possible. Maybe even some of these nice lowrider clubs or car clubs could have something going out there along with these food vendors. Let's all come together and try to make these things happen. So we're going to shout out to a lot of different events that are happening this year, but you got to reach to us during the summer and let us know that we can start to give these things out and give everybody their props.
And that's another thing I was just going to let you know is I believe that every Tuesday we're going to come cut an episode, and then we're going to do a live to where we can do this. So if you got a testimony, if you got a praise report, if you just want to give shout out to somebody, if you got like a good business that you work for that's hiring, let's use this to open up doors. But if you got a men's group that's in the Denver metro area, or if you got a men's group that's not in the metro area, tap in on this live, like drop your location of where it's at, what time, church service. A lot of people are looking for this stuff, and I know that we got Google in our hand, but you know what, man? Sometimes a friendly recommendation can go a long way further than a Google ad. And that's what this is all about, because look, we're not about just us. I just shouted out a business, a podcast, and if you guys want to ever come down, be interviewed, we got no problem doing that on the platform. And if you want to get us there, if you want to invite us to your men's group, you're more than welcome to come to our men's group. Our men's group's Monday nights at 5 o'clock at Main Street
1300 Jamaica Street.
Jamaica, man.
1300 Jamaica Street. So look, we're all in this together, and it's a question of we just already gave you guys a couple businesses to support, a couple events that are happening and stuff. And the question is, will you make an excuse not to be there? Will you find a way to be busy instead of actually making a big difference in people's lives? And this is the reason why I felt so much where we talk about it's relationship over religion.
Right.
It's relationship over religion.
We got to have relationship.
Fact. And without these relationships that you're building and intertwining with one another, there's no friendship, there's no community, everybody's out for themselves. You could do the religious thing over and over. And the saddest thing is going to be for the people that did religious things over and over and over, but they didn't have a relationship with God, that they find that their name is not written in the book of life. You will go up there and he will be like, depart from me, I knew you not. It's the relationship that matters. Now, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be like, hey, I don't believe that. I can't believe you said that. All right, fine. That's okay. That's your belief, right? I'm not going to judge anybody on their beliefs. Whatever you do, that's who you do, and that's the way you walk. My thing right now is the relationship, whether it's with Liz and taking my dog down there or giving her a shout out on this channel to say, like, look, this is what she's got going on. You guys got things that you're doing. We're just here to shout out and say this is the service that you offer.
Yep.
We're happy to do that.
I know. I just had one other one too. As I looked, my T-shirt when I was in Spring Valley for Spring Valley Days. My brother Mario out there, he's doing a lost and found deal for the homeless and for they're doing resource for homeless prison ministry. They're doing a lot of major stuff. So on my page, I'll be sharing his lost and found. And I want to say it's foundation, but I'm sorry, Mario, if I'm saying it wrong. But, he's got merchandise for sale. I picked up this shirt and another Lowrider shirt. God bless Spring Valley. Love my neighborhood. But main thing is that, we're not haters, man. We can't continue to keep hating on each other in this community. God never said build the church and be isolated from anything. He said, build the church, build the relationship, be the light. And that's what this is all about. So every Tuesday we're going to come in, we're going to cut an episode or 2 episodes, depending on, if we got guests in or not. We're going to, even when we got the guests in, we're going to go live. If Marcus ever brings the password to the other page, we'll have his page on here, Kingdom Minded Study. Guys, you guys got to get involved. You can't wait for tragedy to hit to cry out to God. God wants you when the times are good, and He wants you when the times are bad. Don't wait till you're running down the street trying to hide from Him for Him to touch you. Open your eyes, open your heart, forgive and release whatever's happened to you to cause the grudges, the non-relationship ties, the bridges burned. Just because a bridge is burned don't mean that you can't go around the block and get to the same location.
Fact.
And
And so with that being said, yes, I look forward to this. I really look forward to cutting these lives. I look forward to shouting out to other businesses. So please reach out to us so we can actually do a little bit of dive into your business so that when we do give a shout out, we can give the phone number, the website, all those things to help Bonafide get you more people to look at you. And next week, we won't release this particular one, but we got Brother Jamon coming into the studio.
Yep. And this live will be on YouTube. It'll save as a reel onto Facebook also. But the main thing is, guys, is that let's get active. You know what I mean? Let's get interactive.
Summer of activity.
Yeah, I mean, it don't take much to just send a quick response. If you don't want us to shout you out, shout yourself out. Tag yourself in the comments.
Fact.
Share this out, though. Make sure that, we're growing. And I just wanted to thank everybody for the support, the continued support, constantly showing up. The clips, the YouTube channel. TikTok's starting to catch up. But, guys, if you got me on TikTok, look for the CWTM podcast on there. Everything that goes on my Facebook, on the podcast Facebook, is also on the TikTok. So it's just another avenue to get... so what you don't have to.
We said that a long time ago, right? Our ministry. I use social media for ministry.
Yeah.
Period. Every last platform of it, and every last platform of it, you're going to see that we're always lifting up God, putting Him first, giving Him glory, honor, and praise for everything. It's always positive to help men grow and move in good directions, whether it is, financial, spiritual, mental, emotional. We're always talking on those things. So again, here's where we're supporting our community by giving shout outs and stuff. And I love to bring more people on, which we're going to do anyway and stuff. We have that all lined up. It was just a matter of the moment in time. So as you can see where we're actually at right now, we started this a complete year ago. We stood faithful to the whole process of actually cutting something for every week. 52 weeks that we stood faithful.
Minus give and take a couple, health issues and travel.
Or a bad thing that happened with technical difficulties.
Yeah.
But in the end, we stood faithful with it. Now God's taking us to the next plateau.
And let's just talk about being consistent and being faithful. We've been doing this longer than a year. We're almost 3 years into it. And that part of it right there is breathtaking.
Has it been 3 years?
Because we started right after.
I know this studio's only been a year.
Well, here at this studio, but we cut 20 some. That was almost a year and a half of once a month.
Oh, was it?
Because we weren't down there every week. We were
Yeah,
down there
I thought we was down there every week.
not every week. We were like every other week, once a month. About
Javon, you're gonna have to tell us and hit us in the comments.
yeah. So, but I mean, like what I'm getting at is that we've been consistent with it, and it didn't come easy. I mean, we went from one location to learning how to do it all ourselves to learning all the technical side, and I think like right now we got a really sweet thing going as far as technical matching content, matching distribution. I mean, none of it's easy, but you know, we get up every day, we come in, we continue to keep pushing, and that's what it's all about.
It's the one.
I got one more business, and I can't find the flyer, but man, I think it was Jay. I know Missy's watching, and she's not messaging me with the initials, but it's right here, MJG Logistics, and Missy's grandson. I don't. It's going to be my soon-to-be grandson, so I'm just going to call him my grandson. But Mike is doing some logistics, moving, hauling, picking up trash, debris. Phone number 720-499-4825. She told me I can't find it, but guess what? I found it. But Micah could do all your cleanup, all your hauling away. If you need something moved, definitely hit him up. MJG Logistics, and it says junk removal and hauling. Again, he stepped out of his comfort zone, invested some money, put some plan behind it, and another young man trying to succeed. Again, that's what we're all about is supporting each other.
Fact.
So, like I said, you ain't getting no discount, but you could definitely give him a call, and he will take care of you. Yeah, Micah, there you go.
Well, there you guys go. We shot this live. Probably went a little longer than what we thought. Be safe out there this summer. Find good things that you can actually do. There's lakes that you can go paddleboard on. There's lakes you can fish in. There's a lot of different things that you can do out there that don't require a whole lot of money. Just require a little bit of time and a little bit of, how can I say, research into what you're about ready to go do. But at the same token, I want everybody to think about some of the things that we talked about today about coming together as a community and trust in the Lord and keep everything in prayer.
Yeah, well, so with that being said, guys, this is the part that I like to say is like, comment, share, subscribe. Make sure if this has any value to your day, share it with somebody that has it. If you guys know anybody that we mentioned, tag them in this and ask them how come y'all ain't on the Conversation with the Mafia page, because we shouting you out. Make sure you guys shout us out. Share it. Let us know in the DMs if there's anyone that you want to shout out. You know, just don't get weird. This ain't Art LeBeau. We ain't doing no love connections, but make sure you get at us, share it out, and we look forward to the next live.
That's right.
Every Tuesday, about this time, 6 to 7 o'clock area. So, guys, let's just get consistent with it. Let's get some dialogue going, and, let's have this conversation.
And here we go. So until next time,
Tell a friend to tell a friend. We did it again. We were live. Check us out next time. Peace. I just haven't got this part down yet.
My man Chris sounds like he's like Bob Barker.